Am I here? Am I coming in clear? Welcome, everybody. Hold on. Is my camera on? Is that what's going on? Hold on. We already having some technical difficulties. Welcome to the adjuster checkup. Let's see what we got going on here. I am having, it is not registering my camera for some reason. Let's see. Maybe it is my internet connection. Just bear with us here, everybody. Bear with me. I will be here soon, hopefully, prayerfully. It doesn't give me much options. Let's see here. It's supposed to be from my webcam. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry, I don't know why I don't have video, so I might have to stop this and start over again if I can't figure out how to get the computer to register the camera. What is happening today? All right, you all, we're going to have to end this stream and come back possibly. Hold on, I'm just checking all of my settings. Yes, we are set to stream from the webcam. And here we are, already having difficulties. Well, let's see. Yeah. I'm not sure. Okay, let's try this again. Pause for the cause. Bear with me. We'll try this again. Start and stop. It has been a season of technical difficulties. I'll tell you that. But that's okay. We're gonna make it work. Just pause and I'll be back. Hi. Mm, 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 mm. What is going on today? All right. Let's see what's happening. Let's see what's happening. Let's see. Maybe because I am here. No. Just bear with us, everyone. Bear with us. Before I go off, I'm just trying to see what it looks like on my phone's end. It could be it's just blank on my screen. And we are live. Oh, okay. You can see me. I thought we were done. Okay, perfect. All right, I won't worry about it then. I can't see myself, but we're just going to let it go. Welcome to the Adjuster Checkup, everybody. Welcome. All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Adjuster Checkup. We are in season 2, episode 7, and our topic is going to be, which I've already posted, but tonight we're going to talk about grand opening and grand close. All right, and specifically behaviors that jeopardize your adjuster career longevity. Some of us have seen it, some of us have done it. Okay. And so you live and you learn. So hopefully you can avoid some of the pitfalls that I fell into. And so I thought this would be a good subject to talk about this evening. All right. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing and liking this video and tuning in. I truly, truly appreciate you. And so let's talk about, oh, and for those, before I move on, for those who don't know me and this may be your very first time tuning in, my name is Charlene Hoskins. I am the founder, president, and CEO of this wonderful company that we call TPAS LLC. And what we do here at TPAS, we specifically focus on, of course, making insurance transparent. Hello. And honing in on the education of the property and casualty insurance sector, specifically the claims adjuster. We help to license, mentor, and train adjusters. So let's start talking about this grand opening, grand close. I love that phrase. It's a funny little phrase that my mom always liked to use, like, well, that was a grand opening and grand close. All right. And sometimes adjusters' careers can be just as fleeting if you're not responsible with what you're doing. All right. So let's talk about it. One, I want to explain why understanding career jeopardizing behaviors is crucial for adjusters. Yes, our industry is big and it is vast, but it is also very small. It doesn't take much to know somebody who knows you. It doesn't take much for you to end up going down the rumor mill. Okay. And so just be very, very careful with how you're behaving and how you present yourself out here to the world. All right. Now, it doesn't mean you got to be somebody else. Not at all. Oh, no. Because if anybody who knows me, who's ever worked with me, knows that I am completely myself. All right. So let's talk about um, these insights are going to be really good, I think, because it's going to help to ensure your long term success and your career longevity. And I think that's the key, right? You didn't come into this industry to have a, fast and furious career and then move on to something else without getting what you really need and desire from doing this. So, first of all, what I want to point out about common career jeopardizing behaviors. First and foremost, let's talk about, lack of continuous learning. Some of us, we get that license and we do the CEs every year because that's what they require of us in order to renew our licenses. Yes, and so you kind of get stuck in the mundane of it all and you get on this bit of a hamster wheel um, in a sense when it comes to that. However, I would encourage you to find some subjects in insurance that you may actually like. The people who will have the longest careers in this industry are people who are passionate about what we do. You're passionate about customer service. You're passionate about understanding the ins and outs of insurance and how claims are handled, insurance policies. You get excited when you learn a new technique or a new skill that you know you're going to be able to use in order to help you not only manage your time better, process your claims more efficiently, give better customer service, and of course, be the best adjuster that you can be. So if that's where your passion lies, you're going to go very, very far in this industry. That is exactly how I've been able to go as far as I have and still moving forward in this industry. So just keep that in mind. Now, I get it. Some of us are interested in it and originally was attracted to it because of, you know, hey, come on, let's be real. We all have to sustain ourselves somehow, right? And so the idea of financial stability, financial growth is very, 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 very attractive in this industry. And that's no matter if you're going to be an independent adjuster or a staff adjuster. But once you get into it, know that those customer service skills, your ability to learn and interpret policy, your ability to navigate the claims process, manage your time, be well with documenting your notes in the file and so forth and so on. That is what's going to separate you from the rest of your competition of adjusters out there. And so, with that said, try to find some topics in insurance that you do want to learn more about and focus on that. That may very well be your niche. You just never know. And that may lead to your career taking off in all kinds of directions that you couldn't even have imagined. And that's really what happened to us. Came into it because of the money. Oh, yes, with Hurricane Katrina, but stayed in it. Once we got into it, it was just like, wow, this is actually really cool. And I don't know anybody who knows about insurance. Dude, insurance touches everything. And look at this and look at that. Wow, this is really important for people to know. And okay, I need to learn as much as I need to learn and absorb all of this information so that I could be really, really good at my job, right? Because I felt like the better that I was at my job, then the more I was helping people. Because where my real passion lies is from helping others. And so being able to navigate that policy, being able to give that great customer service, that really excited me. And what really made my day was, when you took some claim that was really, really hot and difficult, and the person was hollering and screaming and cussing you out, and I'm gonna leave you guys, and you don't pay for nothing, and I'm trying not to cuss, but you know how they talk to us. And being able to turn that person around and say, you know what, Charlene, thank you so much. I'm so glad I got you on my claim. I don't know where my claim would have been had I not gotten you. And Thank you for your help. And man, this just takes so much off of my back. And I've even had things where it was the parents' claim and their children, adult children, was like, "Can thank you so much. What's your address? We want to send you a gift, or we would like to send a note to your manager or your supervisor." And it's just like, man, knowing that you made someone's life easier, that you relieved their stress, that was everything for me. Um, so really think about increasing your learning and continuing your education even beyond what's required with your CE credits. That was one of the reasons why I we started going to the PLRB conference and why we were so attracted to it. Was those education sessions and all the different topics. And I was like, ooh, look at this. They're talking about hotels that are damaged. Oh, look at this. Like, this year it was AI is the big thing right now, and oh, look at this. They're talking about for us, we're contents insurance nerds and geeks, but it's like, oh, look at this. They're talking about how artwork is restored and how this is done. And oh, wow, this is what's going on here. Oh, this is how these case studies are taking place with the attorneys and so forth. It's like, wow, phew, mind blown. And I felt like that all of that knowledge just helps us to become better while also earning CEs all at the same time. All right. So I would definitely encourage you strongly in order to avoid, making steps that jeopardize your career. Definitely your continuous learning is going to put you in the right direction. All right. Because the more you know, I wish like a graphic with the little rainbow and the star, right? Let's talk about your communication skills. Some of us have really bad communication skills, poor communication skills. You got to learn how to speak, you all. And you have to learn how to not only speak and communicate with those insureds online and those contractors and those PAs and the agents, but also with the people that are working with you, whether you're working remote, by desk, or in the field. You got to learn how to talk because a lot of times you can get compliments once again by even denying somebody because you communicated so well, because you explained everything, right? So it's not even just about knowing what you know, it's also about being able to regurgitate that information into layman's terms to where people can understand. I know that all of us, we don't have a good day every day, and days get rough. And sometimes you have call after call of hot claims and people really ticked off and cussing you out and all the things. And it can really set you in a bad mood. It can really jack your energy up. But you got to find a way to get yourself back centered and put on a happy face. One of the things I remember they used to tell us is we tried this thing where we would practice when we talked on the phone, smiling while we were talking. And if you notice that when you smile, when you talk, it has a completely different tone than when you're not smiling and when you're talking, right? It's like, yeah, I got your claim. Uh huh. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm looking at this, but I mean, why did you buy that? What is that? Do you own that? Well, I'm just trying to explain it to you because, I mean, the policy's just not going to pay for that. We're not going to pay for that. I'm not going to pay for that. It's not a you thing. It's not a we thing. It's the policy. Oh, unfortunately, according to the provisions of your policy, it doesn't afford coverage for this. And I'm really, really sorry. I looked into everything that I could. I dived into your policy to just see if there was any loophole that I could find to afford you coverage, but unfortunately, that's not the case. Somebody it's still bad news, but you can take it a lot better when the tone is nicer, right? And I get that a lot, especially, we had become notorious for being kind of the cleanup women on claims, and when the claim was too hot, oh, give it to us, we'll take it, right? We'll turn it around, and that's usually what ended up happening. And I could do that whether that person was in my face or over the phone, right? Or so think about that about your communication skills. What I might suggest is getting involved with organizations like Toastmasters. If you've never heard of them, they're actually a really great organization that they've been around for a very long time, and they specifically center on how to speak and how to present yourself and how to speak in public and in forums and things like that. And I think that would help a lot of us um, do our jobs better and be able to deliver good news and bad news in a nice way. Because sometimes it's like, yeah, we're gonna pay for it. Here's your stuff, and you're like, hey, you didn't tell me what's going on. Along with that communication skills, we're not calling people back. And the problem is that they're not just looking at the claims that you're closing, right? When they're trying to decide, should this adjuster stay or should that adjuster go? They're also looking at how many complaints do you have, right? And sometimes we'll bypass complaints from contractors because they're not getting their way, or complaints from PAs because they're not getting their way. But I have known of adjusters who rubbed agents wrong, and those agents just went after that person from that point forward. And I get it. There's nothing wrong with speaking with confidence and having an air about out of ourselves, but also remember how you look when you present yourself to the world. Always be, sensitive and aware to that. And that doesn't mean that you have to fit yourself into somebody else's mold or expectations, not at all. But you know the difference. You know how you talk, when you upset or you're not in the mood or you're being complacent versus when you're happy and when you're content and when you're motivated, right? Is the difference between talking to your guy or your gal after y'all break up versus before you broke up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you answer the phone, hey baby, how you doing? After the breakup, what's up? What you want? You know, you know what I'm saying? So I just got to break it down to real life. You know what I'm saying? But anyhow, just think about that when you're thinking about your communication skills. How do you communicate? Are you getting a lot of complaints? And what are those complaints? Don't just ignore them. Don't just be annoyed by them. I know there's a lot on your plate. I get it. You got more claims than you can handle. You're overwhelmed, and that's not your fault. But that doesn't have to bog you down emotionally to where now you're being abusive to the insured verbally, because that's essentially what you're doing. They're already going through a lot. You think you're having a bad day? Imagine what they're dealing with. They can't even sleep in their house, or there's a hole in their roof, or something is leaking, or they just suffer from a flood and their homeowner's policy doesn't pay for it and they don't have a flood coverage, right? Or, and the list goes on. So just be sensitive, okay? And really start paying attention to how are you communicating. One thing that I noticed towards my end of my run during Katrina, and I worked in contents during Katrina, and y'all know contents is tough. Um, it's very sensitive doing that job as a contents adjuster. It's very personable, and you're dealing with people at their worst. People will cry on the phone. People will holler. They will scream. And I noticed that in the beginning of the storm, I was very empathetic. I would be on the phone, and I remember, you know, feeling like, oh my goodness, this person. Oh, when I hung up the phone, oh God, that was so bad. Oh my God, let me try to do what I can to help them. Let me see what I can do. And oh God, I hated having to deny that claim or whatever the case may be. And I remember at one point towards the end, because I actually asked to be released. And the reason why is because it was towards the end, and I remember I was sitting at my desk and it was a new claim, and this person is just heartbroken over the phone, sobbing, talking about family heirlooms and pictures that can't be replaced and all that. And I caught myself. I had the phone up to my ear and I was going like this, like, and they're just pouring their freaking heart out on the other end. And I thought, oh my God, what am I doing? I need a break. Right. And shortly after that, maybe within the next 48, 72 hours, I went to my manager. And I was like, "Am I on the cut list?" And they said, "No, you're not on the cut list." And I said, "Can I be on the cut list? And if I ask to be on the cut list, like, is that gonna look bad on me? Am I gonna be blacklisted?" Whatever the case may be. And they said, "No." I said, "The only reason I'm asking is because I just caught myself being very, like, rolling my eyes at somebody crying their eyes out to me on the phone, and, I think I need a break." And they were like, "You know what? We respect that. Thank you for telling us that, and yeah, most definitely, we can put you on the cut list, no problem." And so, if you need to call it, all right? And that's okay. I know sometimes we don't wanna tell our business and what we're going through personally, but it's okay to go to your manager and just say, "Listen, I got a lot of things going on personally like right now, and I want to give 100%. And with everything that I've got going on personally, I know that I'm not giving my best. And if it's okay with you, and as long as I don't get in trouble and I don't get blacklisted, is it okay for you to go ahead and put me on the cut list and start working me out? And I would love to be able to come back and work for you, when things get better." A lot of times management can respect that a lot better than you like imploding at work. And speaking of imploding at work, you guys, some of us are messy. You're messy and you're distracted and you don't have your mind on the right thing. You are there to work and service these claims, And our jobs, especially if you're independent, our job is to work ourselves out of a job. And so getting involved in some of these very close, intimate relationships with our coworkers. We used to call it adjuster buddies back in the day, and that is not like your adjuster buddy, meaning your ladder assistant. Like y'all hooking up, you know what I'm saying? And I get it because especially from the independents and even for the staffers, we're seeing each other day in and day out. We're spending more time at work than we are at home with our families. But baby, I can't tell you what to do, but don't be messy. So we had really brief. We had a situation where an adjuster, independent, and went to on an assignment via a TPAS recommendation. I had some connections with a firm, and they asked me for adjusters, and I recommended a multitude of adjusters, including this one. And what ended up happening, I don't know what the real deal was, but there was a blow up in the office, and it was literally where it was two female, another adjuster, female adjuster came to my female adjuster and was basically like cussed them out. BITC, I can't stand you. You get on my effing da 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 da. Made a whole scene in the middle of the office. Then they had to break them up. They almost got in a literal physical altercation. They broke them up. They end up, and then it still gets back to the rumor mill that when they got, supposedly they stayed at the same hotel, they get back to the hotel and have an actual physical altercation at the hotel. Needless to say, that adjuster was released, both of them, the one that I recommended and the other young lady. And because of that situation was so tumultuous and embarrassing, not only for that adjuster, but I was embarrassed for her. TPAS was embarrassed, and you made us look terrible. I could not recommend that adjuster for any more gigs. I couldn't put my name on them anymore. So just think about that. Don't shoot off your nose to spite your face. And couldn't find out it was all over some guy. The two girls were messing with the same guy and whatever. So again, um, there's no nicer way to say it. Don't shit where you eat. All right. Let me just say it like that and just make it clear and plain. Stay focused. You're there to work. You're not there to meet your husband or your wife and get married. Now, if those things happen and everybody's not problematic, fine. But just know that if you get involved in a situation like that at work, you run the risk of people finding out what you're doing, being all up in your business, this person not telling the truth, maybe having another situation going on. You might be in the midst of a love triangle or a situationship. Be mature about it. Cut it off, let it go, let it be, and let them go on about their business. But don't let anybody mess up your bag. Like, really? Did you really just throw away 10 grand a month over? Child, listen, I could never. So, anyhow, so some again, we talked about tips for proven verbal and written communication. And so also with that communication, build relationships like I was talking about with the last podcast last week. Build relationships with your coworkers, not nothing too intimate now. Some people you just meet and you just click, and that's fine, right? You just meet them and you just click. But I've also been betrayed by a group of ladies that I thought we were friends, and they flipped the bag on me, okay? And I just have to sit there and take it because again, you're not gonna mess up my paper. I'm still doing this, they not. So anyhow, mm, okay, so make sure that you also let your personality shine. Show who you are. If you're feeling you're making good money, maybe treat your office to I don't know, cupcakes or something one day, an incredible edible basket. I don't know, just to say, hey, you know what? I love working with you guys. Thank you so much because you guys are going to have holidays together. You're going to have Christmases and July, 4th of July's and Thanksgivings and things like that. Use that as an opportunity to try to bond and build, good rapport with your coworkers, okay? Even the ones that you may not like so much. All right, I can always find some form of likability or relatability with sometimes the person that I most disagree with, right? And that's funny because is that not what we do with our families? We have people that we love and people that we care about. And it's like, listen, now you're getting on my nerves, but you know what? I love you though. You know what I'm saying? Give people grace because at the same time, you don't know what that coworker's going through. They may be going through a divorce. They may have just lost a parent or a child. They may be having a child that's dealing with some other issues and things like that, or a sibling that may be dealing with addiction. That weighs on people. You know what I'm saying? So, just Pay it forward. Just be kind to one another. All right. Again, let's talk about being unreliable and missing deadlines. And specifically, I want to talk about that really briefly in regards to your notes. As soon as you get off the phone, put that in short, update your notes. As soon as your work did something on the file, you reconciled something, whatever, you attempted to make a call or you sent an email, please, please, please make a note. Keep those notes up to date. And if you have anything in your schedule where you're set up to follow up with somebody, make sure that you actually do so and you actually follow up with them. If a meeting comes up and right at the time you're supposed to be talking with this person or this insured, make a decision. Either call that person and say, hey, it just popped up a meeting on me. As soon as it's done, I'm going to call you back. Or can we reschedule for another time? Or tell your manager, listen, I got to catch this call. It's been hard trying to get this person on the phone. I finally am able going to get them on the phone and get this information from them. Can you please, can I come late or is it okay if I miss this meeting? All right. So make sure again, and that's communication as well, right? Be honest about where you're at and what you're doing, even if it's something you don't understand. A lot of times adjusters in the beginning of the storm, you're scared to ask questions. That is the time you absolutely should ask questions. You shouldn't be asking questions like you're new 2 months in. They're gonna be looking like, what's she been doing? What have you been doing all this time? Right. So again, meet those expectations and exceed them. Call them back, send the email, send the follow up with the contractor, follow up with the with the PA or whoever, the counsel, the attorney. Just make sure you do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. Okay. And then be adaptable, you all. We know that in this industry, everything changes all the time. Don't get so, stuck in your ways where you're like, or if you're changing vendors, you're changing carriers and you're like, well, at Allstate, we did it like this. State Farm, you ain't at Allstate no more. You ain't at State Farm. You over here at ABC Insurance. You're going to do it this way. And I don't care how many times you say this is how somebody else did it. We not gonna change how we do it. So let it go. Go through the adjuster mind wipe. Wipe out everything you know about how some other carrier does it and do it the way you've been told. All right. Be adaptable. Be flexible. Be moldable. Be teachable. Know that you don't know everything. Know that the wisest man knows that he knows nothing at all. And rest in that. Find comfort in that. All right. Okay, so I think that's it, you all. That's all I really wanted to say. But the whole point is that you want to have effective communication. You want to continuously, develop yourself professionally. You want to have effective networking. You want to build up a strong reputation for yourself, and it's going to show in your work efforts and your work ethic and your work acumen. Okay, and then of course so that you don't have the personal things that's happening in life weighing on you too heavy in your with the workplace. Try to find some work life balance. We'll do a episode on some work life balance, but that is all that I have for you all this evening to speak about. I hope that this helps somebody. Please, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel. Let me know that what I'm saying is resonating with you and I'm talking about the things that matter to adjusters most. And if not, hey, put a note in the chat, catch the replay, or send us an email info at tpas.llc. Feel free to give us a call 877-466-6698. And yeah, I just thank you all so much for tuning in. And of course, if you're an adjuster and you're looking to have your CEs because your license is about to expire, please be sure to get that 10% discount on our Web CE partnership website, which is www.webce.com/TPAS. You can set up a free profile, pick continuing education, select your state, and then from there, you can decide if you want to just buy a selected pre-made package that WebCE has put together, or if you want to select your classes individually and you'll get a 10% discount. And if you want to know how to navigate that site, go over to our TPAS tips playlist and select the WebCE video. All right. So in closing, I just thank you all for joining me. I will see you all next week. And next week, I already know our topic. We're going to be talking about building resilience and overcoming challenges in adjusting. Okay, it's all about longevity this season, you all. All right, so be safe, be good to each other, give each other grace, love, and hug on one another. And yeah, leave me some feedback, you all. Give me some feedback. So if you need anything, yeah, just hit us up and be good. Talk to you all later. Have a good night. Bye.